Minnesota gun control advocates rallied at the Capitol this week, urging the Republican-controlled Senate to take up two bills that are close to passing the House. Meanwhile, a Robbinsdale gun shop is seeing an increase in sales. Reporter Meredith Hackler explains why.
Gun laws are no question a dividing topic, but feeling safe in your own home has no party lines.
We see people from both sides of the fence coming here, right? This is not just a Republican, Democrat, liberal, conservative conversation. Safety is important to a lot of people.
While safety is important to a lot of people, gun shop owners like Munson say when discussions at the Capitol surround gun control, they see an increase of people wanting to buy.
Anytime there's discussion from a political standpoint, that always has an impact, positive, negative. It can go either way depending on the conversation. But when they start talking about changing the rules and background checks and stuff like that, people kind of get that sense of I should do it before kind of thing. So we definitely do see an increase based on that.
Right now, the discussion is surrounding a red flag bill, which would allow police or family members to petition a court to temporarily seize someone's gun if they are deemed a threat to themselves or others. The DFL-backed bill has support of Republican governors in other states.
2 weeks ago, I was with the National Governors Association, and I was sitting with Governor Ducey from Arizona and Governor DeSantis from Florida, who both carried the red flag law that is exactly like the one here and passed it in Republican houses and Republican Senates. And when that piece of legislation was offered up here, it was called crazy and extreme by Republicans in the Senate.
The governor feels the public is asking for stricter laws, but many may not know there are already several background checks people have to go through before they can take a gun home.
So if you're going to get a handgun or an assault-style firearm, a military type of knockoff, like an AR like you see in the wall behind us, you would need what we call a permit to purchase in the state of Minnesota. So you have to go to your local law enforcement agency, fill out an application. There's a 7 to 10 day waiting period. They do a background check on you, and then they give you this permit to purchase.
After that process, the gun shop then does a federal background check before anyone can purchase a firearm. While this topic continues to be controversial, the governor says all he wants is compromise.
I'm asking these folks to meet me halfway, 50-50, to give us an opportunity to compromise.
Meredith Hackler, CCX News.
Now, Minnesota has the only divided legislature in the country, and Republican leaders like Warren Limmer of Maple Grove say there would have to be a wide consensus for any gun bill to be seriously considered. A project is moving forward in Plymouth that will provide more affordable housing options. The project is called Cranberry Ridge and has been in the works for a few years. The 45-unit apartment complex targets families of 4 who earn $47,000 a year or less. Their apartments would be located off Highway 55. This week, the city approved a tax increment finance loan of $527,000 towards the project. And not everyone is counting down the days to spring. For some folks, winter can be downright fun. As Eric Nelson found out, snowshoeing is a great way to get outside and enjoy what's left of the snow.
Strap on the snowshoes, walk, you're good to go. Very beginner friendly. It's just a great way to get outside during the winter time. We have miles and miles of trails for exploring.
Megan KELZENBERG enjoys the wonders of winter.
I know for myself when I go out snowshoeing, if I'm able to see animal tracks, it's like a story has been told in front of you.
Megan works for the Three Rivers Park District and is passionate about snowshoeing. While exploring the many miles of trails in the Three Rivers system, Megan has seen unique habitats and amazing sights.
You might see small mouse tracks followed by owl wing prints into the snow.
So do you think that coyote would be more likely to do that?
Your imagination can just take off thinking about what had happened just the night before you were out there.
Recently, photographer Dustin Scholl and I did some exploring of our own, snowshoeing at Coon Rapids Dam Regional Park.
One of the cool things about snowshoeing is you blaze your own trail. I'm standing here on the banks of the mighty Mississippi, checking out the ducks who are wondering, when is spring coming?
Our snowy adventure gave us an up-close look at nature in all its splendor. Ice floes moved down the river. Birds occupied snowy islands in the middle of the water. And a tree arch was our gateway to discovery.
You can get down by the river, you can go through wetland areas, you can go through the forest. And in each of those habitats, you're going to get an opportunity to see wildlife that you may not be able to see as easily during other months.
Snowshoeing is also good cardio, and sometimes is a butt kicker.
With the deep snow, you're going to have to work hard. Absolutely great exercise.
Another bonus is that the sport is inexpensive.
We offer rentals for $5.
The keys to an enjoyable experience are dressing in layers, knowing your surroundings, and making sure your snowshoes aren't loose.
So you do want to take an effort before you get out on the trail to pull it really snug so it feels one with your foot.
In Brooklyn Park, I'm Eric Nelson, CCX News.
You can feel the school spirit inside of Brooklyn Center Elementary School. Students are committed to the theme of the year, which is Yes, I Can.
They're kind of the next generation coming up. And so whatever they can do to kind of help the city become great too, I think that this is great for Brooklyn Center. And frankly, it makes me happy if Brooklyn Center has a great future.
Jim Sonneberg owns several apartment buildings in the city and donated the superhero t-shirts to Garden City Elementary as a way to show students that, yes, they can achieve great things. Sonneberg says his best employees have always had a can-do attitude, so encouraging students to have that same spirit can keep Brooklyn Center's future bright. You can learn more about this story and others on our website, ccxmedia.org.
Grove boys basketball team took aim at another trip to the state class 4A tournament. A great crowd for the Section 8 final against Buffalo. And Maple Grove shoots it well in the early part of the game. Kyle Dreyer sinks the three and the Crimson are out to a 6-2 lead. Buffalo goes on a run though. Tony Dahl drives and scores as Buffalo takes an 11-8 lead. He gets 11 in the first half. Caden Betcher pops a three as Maple Grove has one of its better offensive first halves of the season. Jared Rainey with a shot fake and he drives for the layup as Maple Grove goes up by 11. Lavelle Williams splits between defenders and he scores in the lane. The Crimson lead at 39-28. Right before halftime, the first Crimson shot misses, but they get it back to Rainey and he nails the three to beat the buzzer. And it's 45-28 Crimson at halftime. Second half and Buffalo makes a run. Aiden Bauman scores and draws the foul. They pull within 7 on a few occasions. But free throws help to seal it for Maple Grove. They make 19 of 23 in the second half. They're headed to state for a 4th consecutive season with a 77-64 win. For the 3rd straight year, Wayzata and Hopkins were matched up in the Section 6 4A Boys Basketball Championship. After 2 regular season losses to the Royals, Wayzata was hoping for a 3rd straight section final win. They start out shooting the ball well. Camden Heidi hits back-to-back threes to start the game to give the Trojans a lead. Wayzata forces a turnover and they get out and run. Jacob Benega scores. This one makes it 14-12 Trojans. Back comes Hopkins though. Kerwin Walton is red hot from the outside, hitting 4 threes in the first half. The Royals are up by 6. Zeke Naji passes to a wide open Dane Zimmer for 2. 11 points in the game for the senior. Hopkins is up 11 at the half. Early in the second half, it's Walton with another 3. He scores 25 points in the game. The Royals extend their lead. Jacob Benega hits a 3 on his way to a 30-point game in his last high school contest, but it is not enough. Hopkins holds its double-figure lead throughout the second half. Naji scores a team-high 29 as Hopkins takes the section title 82-71. After the game, our Ryan Iverson talked to Zimmer and Walton.
We just played every possession on defense and couldn't let them shoot. We tried to get out on our shooters and play the drive, and I thought it went pretty well. I was really locked in before the game mentally because, that's really what helped me, my shot going tonight.
In Class 3A boys basketball, Totino-Grace earned 2 playoff wins in the past week to play their way into a section final. The Eagles face top seed Mahtomedi in the Section 4 title game, and it's tight early on. Carson Walla passes out of the low block to Eric Krieger, who goes to the baseline and hits a jumper to tie the game at 15 for Grace. The Zephyrs' Cole Chapman misses in close. But the ball gets tapped out and eventually into the hands of Javon Hadley, who hits a 3, capping an 11-1 run for the Zephyrs. They lead by 10. Then TG dials it up from long range. Krieger buries a 3. The Eagles pulled it within 5 at halftime, 30-25. Early in the second half, Mahtomedi Zach Centers hits for 3 of his 10 points. The Zephyrs are up 37-32. The Eagles come back though. Carter Werke finds Krieger behind the defense. He scores on the baseline. Grace goes ahead by 2 and their fans are pumped up. But the Zephyrs go back ahead. Hadley comes down the lane and throws down a huge jam off the inbound pass. Mahtomedi holds the lead the rest of the way. They win 58-49 to advance to the state tournament for the first time since 1961. We'll have more highlights of Section Boys basketball, including the Big Park Center Champlain Park Section 5 4A final Monday on our Sports Jam show on CCX. That's all for sports. More news in a moment.